Welcome back to the Sims Resource. Today, we're doing a coffee shop speed build because it's that time of year, and all I want in the morning is a nice hot cup of coffee, and all I really want to go to is like a really cute coffee shop to chill out at and do some work. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm actually renovating the like bar slash pub in Brightchester because I didn't feel like building an entire building, and I also just prefer renovations. I think taking an existing structure is a lot more interesting to me personally than I guess like creating a whole new one from scratch, but that could also just be because I don't like building, so you know. Could be either, though I will say, I mean, I like building, I like decorating more than I like actually creating a structure in The Sims 4 because even to this day I think it still kind of mystifies me. Anyway, aside from that tangent, yeah, we're gonna be making a little coffee shop. So the first thing I actually did for this was I took out a bunch of coffee related items. I downloaded some coffee related stuff from TSR, so I'm literally just like pulling all of it out via text search. Really good tip for you if you're ever playing The Sims 4. If you search like a term, don't just hit enter because it will just take you to whatever like the bottom item on the list is. Go all the way to the top and hit like text search for that term, and you'll just be able to see all the items that correspond to that term at once. I don't know if it's like a my computer problem, but for whatever reason, like that's not the immediate way that the game works, so you have to go up top and click on it there. So just a heads up, that's a much faster way to find, for example, like a set that you downloaded if you know the name of the set, versus just looking for it in whatever categories you think that there are objects in, because sometimes things get miscategorized, and then you're like, oh, I really wanted this one thing, but I can't find it. So that makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, here I'm just looking for stuff that will also work with the fact that this is a retail space in the game. I know this came with Get to Work, and honestly, I haven't tried to use the retail features since then. So that's like, what, 2015? It's been a minute. So I wasn't really quite sure how to work it. However, I think the only required object is a cash register. And first I wanted to go with this like Starbucks inspired counter with all the snacks and stuff because I just thought it was really cute. Though I ended up going in a different direction. I think just I don't know, the Starbucks colors, the two options, like the swatches for that, just weren't speaking to me today, so I went with something else, but you know, nothing against it. I liked it a lot. I ended up using the board from that set, the menu board with all the different options. Though I will say, that is significantly more options than any Starbucks I've ever been to. I feel like at this point Starbucks just expects you to know like what you want, and I usually don't. I typically have like one thing I know I want most days, but like if I ever want to change it up, their menus are not at all like informative enough for me to know. But I digress. Yeah, so here's the final counter I went with. I didn't actually leave it this color because I realized that I really hated this color combo. I don't know why that was ever a set. It's like black and dark green. The black and white is much more chic and easy to look at, so that's what I went with for the counters. Ended up making this build a lot darker than I usually make my builds, but I think it's just because, you know, the walls are so bright and the floors are so bright that I wanted to balance it out. Also, yeah, if you follow any of my builds in block form, you'll know that I usually hate changing the wallpaper right away, but I did that in this build, which is crazy. And I mean, it's really not that crazy, but for me it's like super out of the normal to put the wallpaper first. But I think it was just so dark and like gloomy in the space that I really had to change it, or else I wasn't going to be able to build. Plus, it was from one of those furniture and like design sets that always drive me a little bit crazy, where it's like very clear that for whatever reason, like all of these swatches have been designed only for this one set, and they kind of just look weird with anything else, and I don't really know what else to do, so I just kind of got rid of that right away. Oh yeah, I put up the little line thingies. I don't really know, I guess they're barriers. I knew that they existed, but I kind of thought they were like solo objects that you'd have to position, but no, these are like actual fences, and I like it so much. I think it looks so good for creating a little line in a retail space. Honestly, they're making me want to create other retail spaces because I just love how cute like those little line things are, because like, yeah, those are real and they're in real stores. Filling up these like display shelves with clutter that made sense was like so hard because I wasn't really thinking when I downloaded CC for this build, and I wasn't thinking about like, oh, I need like display food, so I just like downloaded just like the bigger objects like the shelves, and then I forgot about display food. However, some of these are really cute. This little like branded coffee bag, and then like these bigger like to-go boxes. I think they're so adorable. I think they're by Sabubu. Shout out to you. Your CC's awesome. And yep, here I'm just trying to fill up all the counters and stuff. The fruitcake is actually one that came in game, and I thought it was really funny because I don't know if anyone else has seen this. So in Claire Staffitz's book, if you don't know who Claire Staffitz is, she's like a very famous YouTube chef, but also is like a very famous chef in general. She has a cookbook that I love, and it's all like desserts. And the dessert that takes the longest to make is a fruitcake that takes like 4 months or something absolutely insane to make. Like, I have never considered a dessert taking longer than like 2 days max to make. And even those desserts are like, oh, you have to leave it to like rise overnight. I had a sourdough baking period. I feel like everyone did at one point in the recent history of the world. But sourdough, like, I'd leave overnight sometimes because otherwise you're just kind of like, okay, well, it's like 12:30 at night and now I have to go bake my sourdough. It was fine. The yeast could sit overnight, but I don't know, man. I feel like leaving a fruitcake for 3 months, like, you'd think it would go bad, but apparently you're just supposed to, like, feed it every 3 months. Or, like, feed it once a month for 3 months. I was like, what? Maybe I'm the dumb one. Maybe I don't know anything about fruitcakes, because I certainly don't. I was just so baffled by, like, the mere concept of a cake that you have to keep baking for 3 months. I don't do a lot. I barely do. I'm trying to think of, like, I don't do a lot of things on a 3-month basis that, like... Yeah, I really don't. I was like, what do I do that lasts me 3 months? Nothing. I don't do any hobbies that do that because, like, that's insane. I'm not talking like a season that lasts 3 months because, like, yeah, like if you're playing a sport, I don't know, man. I'm gonna go look for that recipe later because maybe I'll make it, and then in 3 months I'll tell you how the recipe is. Okay, yeah. So I found some display food in my game already. There were these really autumnal cakes, and I thought they were very fitting for the season right now. So I put them out in the game. I think they're really cute. There's also deviled eggs, which look so delicious. I love deviled eggs. They're probably my favorite, like, appetizer. Because I feel like they always look kind of fancy, but they're not. They're just, like, really yummy eggs. Shout out to you, deviled eggs. You're the realest one here. And yeah, the displays are almost full. I really like how colorful they turned out. And so now I'm just working on, like, the seating area. And I thought this little trash can, like, slash recycling bin is so cute. Look at them. Like, they look like real ones. Anytime I'm ever, like, looking at anything in The Sims and I'm like, oh, it looks like the real one. It's, like, a little bit... I don't know why. I feel like it's so funny because it's like, yes, Paige, it's a garbage can. But I think they're so, so cute. Anyway... yep, here I'm just putting some decorations up over the fire, and, you know, I found this coffee table early, and I thought it was really cool, so I put it in, and I think I ended up changing it, even though I spent, like, all of my decorating trying to work around this one really square coffee table, but it just didn't really fit the space right. Like, I tried putting in a couch, and the couch didn't really fit right, like, as you can see right there. It's the modular couches from, I think... Dream Home Decorator, and I actually end up using these a lot because they're just really easy to, like, make look nice in a space. But and then I also got to use these super cool snowy escape chairs, which the one with, like, the furry, like, fuzzy blanket over it. I'm gonna sit there whenever I'm at, like, a fancy restaurant and they have, like, a warm fire or, like, a place to sit with a little blanket. I'm like, oh my god, I need it because I'm always cold, and it is I just want to be cozy at all times. So yeah, I ended up getting rid of that coffee table and swapping around to another one. And it's a little bit more boring, but, you know, what are you gonna do? Otherwise, it really would have been impractical for Sims to walk around, and you know Sims and their inability to route past anything that they deem, like, unroutable. It's gotten better in recent years, but there was a period of time where, like, if your furniture was not spaced, like, several squares apart, your Sims would just be like, nope, not walking there. Can't get by. And you're, like, looking at them like, yes, you can. There's no reason for you. And no, they would just not walk by it. Sims. Their logic really defies me a lot of the time. Anyway, Now we're moving on to the little fireplace area. I ended up using a couch from Snowy Escape as well, I think. And yeah, I think it just made the fireplace area a little bit cozier. I've been to some really like cool coffee shops before where it just feels very cozy and welcoming, and I just really enjoy that. So I wanted this to feel like that, like a little bit more casual, a little bit more, I guess, homey than like a Starbucks. I feel like Starbucks, because it's so corporate, as much as I love it, believe me, I do enjoy Starbucks, but you know, it doesn't always have like the coziest atmosphere to sit and work. So I was kind of making something that would suit that vibe. And then here I'm actually adding some tables. I wanted to go with the high tops from Dine Out because I just think they're cool and I think they look nice. And I like that you can use bar stools with them because I just think it looks a little bit nicer than like a regular chair. And a little bit more realistic. Like I haven't been to a lot of restaurants where, I guess I haven't been to a lot of coffee shops where like the chairs are normal. I feel like they're usually like bar stools or something funky, so I wanted to make it a little bit more real, I guess. And here I'm just doing some decorating. Picking rugs is truly the bane of my existence. I don't know why it is so like endlessly hard for me to pick a rug. To be fair, I was supposed to pick a rug for my bedroom like months ago in real life, and I just haven't. I think at this point I'm just not going to get a rug. So, you know, you can just simply avoid it and then you'll never have to pick a rug. But in the game I did have to figure it out, and so I think I eventually settled on a striped one. And at first I was like, oh, this is too much pattern, like with the couches, but it's a very neutral striped couch, so I feel like it's not that bad. Oh yeah, there it is. Yeah, see, it looks a little bit like much, but it matches the blanket, and I thought it was just a nice touch. It wasn't like a overpowering rug. And then I was looking for something to like note that this was the start of the line, and for whatever reason I was like, let me put little dots. I don't know why I thought this was a good idea, but as soon as I tried it I realized that it was not what I wanted it to look like, so I took those off. And then I tried different colors. I don't know, it was just not working the way I wanted it to. And then I realized that like most places have like a literal sign that like denotes where you have to enter the line, which is so ridiculous of me to forget that, but I don't know. I think maybe I'm just used to seeing like big dots on the floor for like how far apart you should stand from people, so maybe that was why I was thinking of dots. And yeah, here I'm just decorating the little like area by the trash can because I know some places have like dish racks and sinks, and I wanted to kind of add that in, make it a little bit more realistic. And then I think I'm almost done. Yeah, I am almost done. I went back to try to figure out the rugs. Stop trying to make rugs happen. It's not going to happen. But, you know, I was trying my best. I tried like putting these rugs in until I realized they kind of just look like Subway grates and I didn't like them that much. And yeah, I just sort of eventually gave up on her and finally looked for a sign because I was like, this is getting ridiculous and I'm looking for the wrong thing. This is like triple speed, by the way, so what you're watching is like significantly faster than how long this actually took me to figure out in real life, so it's embarrassing how long it took me to figure out that I just needed a sign. And then I tried a couple different signs. None of them were giving me the vibe I wanted until I finally was just like, oh, it's the sign that I've been looking for, and it was right in front of me, it's right there. And it literally just looks like what I wanted it to look like. There it is. So yeah, that's my coffee shop. Thanks for watching. Bye.